Coming up, we'll learn that toxic industrial waste is still being illegally dumped over Taiwan, a threat to both the environment and citizens. Delegates from China visit the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital to gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi's philosophy and its hospital facilities. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan's Tainan, to safeguard the oral health of those staying at the Xingde Home for the Disabled, Southwestern team members and 42 volunteers held a free dental clinic at the center. Thanks to the event, many doctors have realized the importance of cherishing their blessings. But first, we go to the Philippines Leyte province, where 2 free clinics were organized to help Typhoon Haiyan survivors in Ormoc and Tacloban.
Happy, yes. Clap hands.
Inside the Ormoc Superdome, thousands of people are waiting for their turn to see a doctor. Team members thus seize the opportunity to educate locals on how to brush their teeth properly.
Don't forget your gums. You need to brush all the way from your gums.
Listening closely to a doctor's instruction is Marivic Dafon, whose son has been sick for a while.
I think my son is really sick. I can barely sleep at night because he wants me to hold him all the time. His body has been itching a lot lately, so he can't sleep soundly at night. I wanted to feed him something, but he wouldn't take it.
Despite the large number of patients waiting for treatment, Tima doctors still care for each with extra attentiveness. Following a free clinic at the Ormoc Superdome, 79 Tima doctors from 6 different countries traveled to Tacloban City to hold a free clinic at Eastern Visavas State University. Upon learning that many cannot afford treatment, Tima doctors are more determined than ever to carry on their good work.
I felt sad. There are so many people who can't afford dental treatment. And I was told like a day's salary in here is about 280 pesos. But the extraction will cost them 300 pesos. So it comes to about 1 day's salary. So I feel we should do more of these kind of things, so the people at least they'll get some health care.
To safeguard the health of Typhoon Haiyan survivors, Tima members seized the chance following the Tima Dentist Convention, which took place in Manila, to conduct free clinics in Ormoc and Tacloban cities. Thanks to their efforts, more than 3,400 patients are on the road to a speedy recovery. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, Southwestern Tima members arrived at the Xingde Home for the Disabled in Tainan to safeguard the oral health of 60 students.
I feel happier when I work here.
I'm very happy because we're giving without asking for anything in return.
Other than providing free dental treatment, dentures are also given to those that need it. Thanks to the event, Tima members have realized the importance of cherishing their blessings.
They reminded me of the importance of cherishing the life we live.
After witnessing suffering firsthand, Tima doctors have not only realized the need to cherish their blessings, but also the truth of the phrase that it is more blessed to give than to receive. Before Earth Day, which falls on April 22nd each year, both Tzu Chi volunteers in China and Taiwan are doing their part to raise environmental awareness in their surrounding communities. The volunteers in China visited an elementary school in Guangdong, Shenzhen, to teach children and parents about sorting recyclables. Meanwhile, their counterparts in Taiwan hit the streets to spread conservation ideals and encourage members of the public to make a vow to protect the planet.
Over 100 Tzu Chi volunteers of New Taipei City's Xinzhuang are hitting the streets to raise environmental awareness, even though their community is quite familiar with Tzu Chi's missions and have been actualizing them in their lives for quite a while.
I have put them all together. This is a whole bag of plastic bags.
As celebrating Earth Day should be every day, volunteers also invite residents to conserve the planet's resources, which this senior is already doing.
We have been saving water. Our water bill for 2 months is only $300 or $400 NT dollars. We use buckets to save water.
Volunteers are also asking residents to sign their name as a vow to take action, and in just one morning, they received over 2,000 signatures.
安尼甲你的亲戚朋友分享啊，甲咱的事做讲啊。
我来找面都冇，我都来看看就去。
好，啊，你接赞的呢？我们先了解会众他们是。
We will see how each resident tries to conserve, and if they haven't, then we will share some methods with them.
With one more person supporting Earth Day, that equals one more pair of hands to help clean up the planet. Meanwhile, in Guangdong's Shenzhen, Tzu Chi volunteers are educating 3rd and 4th graders on how to best protect the planet. Shenzhen's Yanshan Elementary School invites Tzu Chi volunteers to their school every month to conduct environmental protection lessons. This time, with parents joining as volunteers, the lessons hit home a bit more.
For example, at home, we should not blast the faucet, and whoever is the last to leave should turn off the lights. It would also be good to unplug the electronics as well. We have to set an example for others.
We are promoting environmental protection to children because if the concepts take root, then they can help to promote them to those around them.
Now, with such recycling concepts deeply rooted in the hearts of young and old, residents are better equipped to protect our planet.
As more houses are built and trees cut down, the urban heat island effect is increasingly alarming because it traps the hot air. To cool off, city dwellers will turn on their air conditioner, but that is not a permanent solution. Today, we asked a horticulturist to teach us how to use plants to reduce temperatures.
天气热，你通常会第一个动作会做什么？
买冰棒来吃吧。
还有呢？
还有那吹冷气啊。
Turn on the fan or open a window. It's really hot outside.
开冷气啦。
Turning on the air conditioner to cool off is what people usually do in the summer, but this only adds to the waste heat generated and trapped in urban areas. However, a horticulturalist has an alternative.
只要这个植物它可以生长很茂密，好。
If these plants grow very densely, then it can become a large shaded area to cool our floors or walls and minimize direct solar exposure.
减少太阳直接照射的所产生这个辐射热。
Rooftop gardens are suitable for growing succulents, cacti, house leeks, shrub plants like hibiscus, and vegetables like cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers. According to research, growing these types of green landscapes can help reduce interior temperatures of a house by 3 to 5 degrees.
在日本，他们有一些研究哈，就是用
Researchers in Japan compared those walls or rooftops with greenery on them against those without, and found that there is an average reduction of about 3 to 5 degrees than those without it.
降温是平均起来是降3到5度。
There are multi-benefits to growing green landscape around your environment. Whether it is for beautification, hobby, or eating, it can also help lowering temperatures and help save money.
It is already 2014, and in spite of the so-called elevated environmental awareness of Taiwan citizens, illegal dumping of toxic industrial waste continues to happen. Currently, over 200 illegal dump sites have been discovered, all of which have been causing serious harm to the environment and our health. Taiwan does have industrial waste processing plants. However, violators choose not to pay for the treatment of their waste, but instead selfishly read the process of illegal dumping while harming us all in the process. Here's our report.
This 2.4 hectare farmland ahead is already filled with slag. They covered it up with earth. We now have to walk around this area in order to see it.
We are currently inside a banana field. About 100 meters ahead, poisonous industrial waste is being illegally dumped, which is causing serious pollution inside this water resource protection area.
For the sake of their home, Chisan residents collect evidence of the abuse with their cameras. A gaping hole 5 stories deep comes into view. It is being filled with thousands of tons of slag and poisonous industrial waste.
Both the Kaohsiung and Tainan cities get all their water from here. We used to have high-quality water. The river had plenty of fish, shrimps, and crabs, but since the dumping began, we discovered that in just several months, the water's color had turned blue.
Since the arrival of the industrial waste, the water has died and it reeks.
Sadly, the pristine mountains and waters are no more.
This is the water I've collected from the river. 3 minutes after the fish go in there, they began to struggle frantically. By about 7 minutes, they all perish.
We used litmus paper to test the water's acidity, and the results terrified us. Its pH level was 12, which was strongly alkaline.
Besides construction waste, most of Taiwan's industrial waste comes from steel refineries.
The so-called steel scrap is imported. After it is refined, we are left with all this poisonous industrial waste.
2 byproducts are produced when steel is refined. One is slag, which contains heavy metals, but is not as poisonous. The other is flue dust, which has a high concentration of heavy metals and also toxic dioxins. It is classified as a harmful industrial waste.
This is the slag from an electric arc furnace. It contains heavy metals.
Without a proper dump site, authorities can only cover the waste with a tarpaulin to minimize pollution.
During the monsoon season, the rains will wash all this downstream.
Here we see a couple different species of fiddler crabs. There are also plenty of mudskippers and egrets.
Walking on this beach at low tide, however, tears well up in Si's eyes as her heart aches for the earth.
See, there has been quite a lot of slag dumped here. Look, it hasn't been here long, but it has already become brittle. When it breaks up, heavy metals will be released.
As people enjoy the convenience of modern life, poisonous industrial waste is harming our environment and our health as well. Over the years, incidents of illegal dumping have been found all over Taiwan's west coast.
Violators choose to dump illegally because of the profit they can make. By taking the waste to a processing plant, they will incur expense, so we hope that the fines that we can issue can be increased significantly.
When striving for a balance between development and environmental protection, if profit is the only thing that matters, then in the end, we all lose.
In response to South Korea's ferry tragedy, Taiwan's Maritime and Port Bureau under the Ministry of Transportation and Communication is stepping up safety inspection and regulation for all vessels. Next, we go to the port of Keelung to learn more.
The sinking of the South Korean ferry Sewol has drawn international attention and sparked concern over the safety of passenger ships.
After South Korea's Sewol incident, Taiwan's authorities have stepped up the inspection and regulation of all cargo and passenger vessels.
Currently, there are 5 ferries in Taiwan that regularly travel to offshore islands. They are the Taima, the Hefu Express, the Taihua, the Nachanrera, and the Taimin Star. In a month's time, all must carry out new safety drills and pass new inspections. Boarding the Hefu Express, which travels between Keelung and Matsu, reporters catch a glimpse of the vessel's safety equipment.
Depending on the location of your cabin, you will have a different escape route. Passengers cannot all gather on one side, as that will cause the boat to least.
Besides a specified evacuation route, under the bunk inside every cabin and on the deck, one can find life jackets. Maritime law states that any vessel must carry life jackets and lifeboats that exceed its maximum passenger capacity by 10%. All Taiwan boats that can carry more than 12 people must pass inspections on hull integrity via extinguishers and machinery every year, for the sake of passenger safety.
This time the South Korean vessel was only able to release one of its 46 lifeboats. So it's obvious the crew didn't properly utilize the time they had. Had they done so, in theory, all passengers should have been able to get on lifeboats and escape safely.
The Sewol had sufficient life jackets and lifeboats. However, a series of mistakes by the crew, including the early departure of its captain, led to the disaster. In Taiwan, if a vessel's captain does not do his best to save his crew and passengers, in case of fatalities, he could be sentenced to prison for up to 10 years. Other than an unpredictable act of God, the Maritime and Port Bureau likes to point out that as long as a crew is properly trained and follows established protocols, ocean travel is actually one of the safest means to travel in the world.
In Taiwan's Hualien, as the 5th Tzu Chi International Humanitarian Aid Seminar came to an end on April 20th. Today we take a closer look at some specific inventions that were showcased by the Industrial Technology Research Institute and DaAi Technology. In total, over 200 participants from 4 countries came together to exchange ideas and learn from new disaster relief technology.
Dozens of participants gathered together to learn from one Tzu Chi volunteer on how this charging station works.
This charging station is designed for disaster survivors who can use it to charge electronic devices, like cell phones. Media volunteers can also use this charging station.
Later, volunteer Yan Shengyan demonstrates a light bar and its uses in disaster areas.
You can clip the light bar onto a desk. With its magnet inside, it can be fixed in this direction and that direction too. In addition, you can also hang it on a hook. It lasts 8 to 10 hours before needing recharging.
The light bar also serves as a reminder for volunteers to conduct follow-up home visitations.
If the disaster survivors don't bring it back on the second day for a recharge, we will go to their home to see if they have any problems or if they need anything.
During the 3-day Tzu Chi International Humanitarian Aid Seminar, over 200 participants from 4 countries came together to learn more about Tzu Chi's high-tech disaster relief equipment. Kitchen volunteers are also there to help with the event.
Some participants prefer spicy food, so we prepared spicy meals. For those who prefer strong flavors, we also prepared meals that can satisfy those appetites.
Later, participants seized the chance to learn from each other, hoping to do a better job in future relief work. Another stall showcases flexible blackboards made from PET bottles. The idea was inspired by Tzu Chi's experience in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, thousands of students have class outdoors with wooden planks serving as their blackboards. To help the students, DaAi Technology used recycled PET bottles to make a flexible blackboard.
You can use a wet cloth to wipe off the words on the blackboard. It's very convenient.
Showcasing a bike-powered water purifier is researcher Chen Jianhong of the Industrial Technology Research Institute. He personally joined Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines to better learn the needs of Typhoon Haiyan survivors.
We didn't realize the gap between our design and its use before we went to the disaster area. Afterwards, we gradually changed our design to fit the needs of those who would use it.
On site is also a pedal-powered shovel, making shoveling an easier task. Tzu Chi volunteers also showcased 2 sizes of prefabricated housing. The 18 square meter prefab housing is for 4 people, while a 24 square meter housing can handle a family of 6. Each has an individual living room, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen.
We use cement boards to divide the different areas. They are resistant up to a fire at 2000 degrees Celsius.
Not only easy to assemble, but hardy as well. Tzu Chi's prefab housing showcases the NGO's compassion embedded in its practical inventions.
As part of a cultural exchange trip to Taiwan, a group of delegates from China visited the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital to gain a further understanding of Tzu Chi's missions and the hospital's facilities. During the visit, Tzu Chi's disaster relief efforts were also shared with the group, impressing the guests even further.
Visiting Taiwan, 13 delegates from the China Committee on Religion and Peace arrive at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. Acting as a tour guide, Tzu Chi Foundation Vice President Lin Biyu introduces the hospital's medical facilities and Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit.
The most important point is for them to understand why Master Zhen Yan started the Tzu Chi Foundation and why we emphasize the humanitarian side of things and how to maintain the spirit and actualize it in their lives.
The tour included introducing the hospital's medical departments as well as the recent international relief work Tzu Chi has assisted with.
I was especially moved in seeing how much humanitarian spirit there is. I saw how a religious organization helped an area, society, and even a country, and how they have contributed selflessly to mankind. I think there is much we can learn from Tzu Chi's example.
At the end of their visit, the hospital presented each delegate with a small token to commemorate the day, with both groups looking forward to further exchanges in the future.
In China's Jiangxi province, for the past 17 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been awarding scholarship on a yearly basis, helping countless needy students. Recently, the volunteers held another award ceremony at the Yichun Middle School. During the event, 356 scholarship recipients reciprocated by donating their love. Guo Dongqing's parents cannot work due to their physical disabilities. Her grandma is the sole breadwinner of their family. Thankfully, with Tzu Chi's help, many impoverished students like Guo have the chance to further their studies. For the past 17 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been handing out scholarships in Yichun, giving many underprivileged students a chance to pursue their dreams. This year, 356 students will receive Tzu Chi's aid.
Since meeting Tzu Chi, many needy students realize that they can also help those in greater need. Doing good deeds is something that everyone can do.
To reciprocate Tzu Chi's love, 356 students have been saving a little on a daily basis to help those in greater need.
Our students told me that they have received a lot of help from Tzu Chi, and they want to reciprocate the NGO's kindness by donating their love.
For the past 2 years, Tzu Chi's footsteps in helping needy students in Yichun have inspired many people from surrounding cities to join their ranks. Thus, this year's scholarship distribution was joined by volunteers from Yichun, Nanchang, and Zhejiang cities. Thanks to the award ceremony, many volunteers are inspired to carry on the good work in the years to come. We go to Taiwan's Kaohsiung at the end of the show. Tzu Chi volunteers visited a special needs school to teach students their ways to cherish resources. Thanks to volunteers' visit, many students realize their actions can reduce the burden on Mother Earth. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.